Hello and welcome to the Blue Open Studio tutorial video series. The topic of this video will be an introduction to Blue Open Studio. In this video, we'll be discussing a general overview of Blue Open Studio. We begin with the vision of the software. And the software is designed to be able to access any data across any network from any device. It's an open standard-based architecture designed from the ground up, keeping security in mind. And what this means is that the software can be used for anything from an HMI application to be a data collector on a server somewhere, but also display this information or being able to access it from a mobile device or web browser or remote screen via the thin clients. And what we mean by open architecture is three main facets. The first is portability, where the software can be used to develop a single application or multiple applications that can be used across several operating systems. This includes all of the standard Windows operating systems to Windows Compact or Embedded, and also Windows servers. The second is mobility. You are able to access the runtime via several different methods, be it a secure viewer or SMA thin clients, or through a web browser, and across multiple operating systems, be it Windows, iOS, or Android, or even Linux. And the third is interoperability. With over 250 different drivers, along with OPC and other communication methods, Blue Open Studio is able to communicate to numerous devices and provide information to several different destinations. And all three of these facets work together to increase productivity, improve reliability, and bolster security. Blue Open Studio is suited for multiple applications across any market. For example, for automotive, it could be controlling a stamping press. For pharmaceutical, it could be used for pill production and monitoring. We have 21 CFR Part 11 compliancy. For building, we have environmental control and monitoring. For warehouse, it would be product availability and shipping and receiving dashboards. Essentially, is any vertical market, any application. The versatility of the software allows it to be used for a wide variety of applications. However, that could also lead to some confusion when it comes to determining what configuration to use for the software. Let's say, for example, that we have an application that requires several monitoring stations, one master operator control, and a server collecting all the information. So for the operating stations, it would be something similar to a simple machine, which could be anything from the 1500 tag to possibly the 4000. Then for the master operation and control, we could do a line operation and monitoring, which could be anywhere from the 1500 to the 32,000 tags. Or it could be more of a complex machine, which could run the gamut of the 4,000 to 64,000. And then for the plant server, it could be anything from our supervision or our light supervision tag counts, which are the 32 and 64, essentially giving you the capability of generating and collecting massive amounts of data. Next, we'll discuss the product information. This will include part numbers and descriptions, and also some licensing details. The licensing process will be covered in another video. The software revision convention or version structure for Blue Open Studio is laid out like this. There is one group of numbers at the beginning, which is the version number, and this typically includes major features and enhancements. Upgrades within this version are free. For example, if you went from 8.0 Service Pack 2 to 8.0 Service Pack 3, there would be no charge and no relicensing required to upgrade. However, if we went from 8.0 to 8.1, there will be a purchase required to migrate between those two. In addition, there will also have to be a relicensing of the software. The second grouping is for service packs. And service packs typically fix bugs and will add some minor feature enhancements to the software. In the final group are patches, and these are typically bug fixes only. Now there is one other grouping that is not listed here, and those are hot fixes. And these are typically emergency improvements or emergency fixes for specific customers only. Sometimes they will be rolled in to a later release or posted up on the website to be downloaded and installed individually. The software licensing. Currently, the software license breaks into 4 different types. We have 2 groups, the runtime and the build time. Each one has their own soft key and hard key. However, I should mention that the hard keys will not be available until Wave 2 is released, which is scheduled for the beginning of Q4 of 2017. And as of right now, runtime licenses are only available with the PS5000 industrial PCs. Additional PC support is scheduled for release later this year. And since hard keys are not available at this time, soft keys are the only licensing method that we can use. However, only one type of soft key license, be it build time or runtime, can be used on a single system at a time. So if you license your installation on your PC to be a build time, and then you relicense it as a runtime, the build time option is no longer available. And currently, there is no combination build time and runtime license. That is slated for a release with Wave 2 at the beginning of Q4 of 2017. There are 4 license levels. There is machine control, which is the 1,500 tag, the line management, which is 4,000 tags, supervision light, which is 32,000 tags, that is still pending a release later this year, and the supervision, which is 64,000 tag. And the license levels or tag counts applied to a single application, not the software as a whole. So for example, if you have a 4,000 tag license, you can open or run project files with a 4,000 tag count or less. And there is no limit to the number of applications that can be opened by the software. Just as a side note, only one instance of the build time and runtime can be opened or running at a single time. And the software installation is independent from the license purchased. What this means is that the license itself determines what features are available with the software. When you install the software, the entire suite gets installed. That's both the development and the runtime, and the license will determine what portions of that is available to you. And we have some additional license add-ons that can be purchased and licensed at the same time as the software, or can be added at a later time. And those are our 2 thin clients, the Studio Mobile or SMA, and the Secure Viewer. And then we have some development-only add-ons, which are import wizards. And these 3 add-ons will be discussed in later videos. Software part numbers. The software part numbers follow the same structure and syntax as other ProFace products. We have our prefix, then we have the software type, and then our license type, then the license level or the tag count, then the media type, and then what version it is. As you see from not only the breakdown on the left-hand side, but the descriptions on the right, we can piece together the part numbers that we would need for the software we want to purchase. For example, the 3 items at the bottom, the very first one, that part number is a 64,000 tag build time with a DVD option for installation. The second item is a build time with 32,000 tags, but that is the license only, no installation media. And the last one is a runtime 1,500 tag license. And that is, of course, license only, no installation media. Further discussion about runtime licenses. There are 2 different types available. Those are currently a build to order option or BTO, and the license only, meaning purchasing just the license. Type 1 currently only available on the PS5000. And there are the configuration options for the PS5000. Then also includes the license sticker. It could include the USB key once those become available as well. and then an installation and registration instruction card. It does not come with any installation media. However, the software is included on the ProFace Industrial PC Recovery Media, located in the ProFace software directory. However, if you need a newer version or you lost the recovery media, you can simply download the software from our support site. Type 2 includes the license sticker and USB key, once again, as soon as the USB keys become available. Installation and registration instruction card. However, no installation media is included, but the software can be downloaded from our support site. Build time licenses. There are two different types available for the build time as well. The license plus installation media, or the license only. Type 1 includes the license sticker and, when they are available, the USB keys. An installation media, which at this point is a DVD. The registration URL for the software. And type 2 includes the license sticker and USB key, the installation and registration instruction card. However, no installation media is included, but the software can be downloaded from our support site. There will be an additional charge for both the installation media and USB key. However, that is the only difference between the two types of licenses. License levels. Just as a graphical representation, here are 3 current, and here is our new one that was pending a release later this year. And as you can see, not only does it have a tag count for each license, however, there is also a simultaneous drivers count. What that means is unique drivers that can be added to the application. This is the maximum number that is included. So for example, the machine control or 1500 tag license, you can have 3 unique drivers configured inside of your application. And then all the way up to the supervision, which is 8. Thin client part numbers for the add-ons. It follows the same syntax as other ProFace part numbers. And as you can see from the descriptions on the right-hand side, we have some examples down below that show you the 3 different types that you can get. For example, the top one is 4 licenses for the Studio Mobile Access or SMA. And then we have the same SMA, but with 8. And the very bottom one is for Secure Viewer, 4 licenses. Add-on part numbers for Blue Open Studio. This follows a similar syntax to the rest of the part numbers, however, it is much shorter. And as of right now, we have 3 that are available and 1 that is pending, as you see from the descriptions on the right-hand side. So our examples. The very top one is when the USB hard key is available. That would be your part number just for the USB hard key. Then the second item is for the Panel Builder 32 import wizard. And the final one is for the Factory Talk import wizard. The part numbers and descriptions for Blue Open Studio can be confusing. And this is a way to look at them to kind of tell them apart or be able to discern which part number or item you're looking at. So for example here, we have 2 tags from 2 different Blue Open Studio products. And they look very similar with the exception of 1 minor difference. The top one is for build time and the bottom is for runtime. So really what you want to look at is towards the middle of the part number for B or an R. And unfortunately, that is the only difference between purchasing a build time and purchasing a runtime with the same tag count and same license type. So this can be extremely confusing and easily mistaken. Additionally, the labels that you get for the software has the same type of setup where you must look for the difference within the middle of the part number. And this is important when you go to register the software because you could accidentally register the software incorrectly, and that would require re-registration under the new or correct part number. A quick license comparison or review of what we've discussed. We have the two major types, the hard key and the soft key. Hard key typically will come with a USB stick and the sticker. Soft key will be a sticker or label only. The pros for the hard key, it's easy to reuse or move around, perfect for development purposes or troubleshooting. That way you can lock out the application when it's in normal operation. However, if you need to do troubleshooting or testing, simply change the licensing over to the hard key, and now you're able to develop on the same system. The cons, though, it's an additional cost, albeit a small one, but also there is a risk of the USB key being broken or being lost, or even worse, stolen. For the soft key, the pros, there is no physical equipment tied to the license. You don't have the potential of losing or breaking the license. However, when the target PC changes, and we will discuss those situations when we discuss the licensing procedure, the license will need to be reauthorized or reactivated. And a brief description of the installation and registration instruction card. It's similar verbatim that you see on our other instruction cards. The only difference is the registration URL that is on the card is currently inaccurate and it does not redirect you to the correct site. So what we have done is we have included a label with the correct registration URL, not only on the wrapping or cellophane packaging of the instruction card, but also on the inside of the jewel case for the installation DVD. Now we'll discuss the product information of the software. This includes the software description and market positioning. Blue Open Studio is an easy to use and powerful HMI SCADA software for ProFace industrial PCs and mobile devices. It is extremely affordable, and while the software is compatible on most Windows operating systems, currently we only have it available for the PS5000 industrial PCs. We will be releasing additional support for the SP5000s, specifically the 5B41, and come the beginning of Q4 of 2017, there will be additional third-party support via the USB hard keys. You can design an application inside of Blue Open Studio in what's called the Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, and deploy or run it on multiple platforms, including any current Microsoft OS, or even across mobile devices. Blue Open Studio has a complete set of SCADA and HMI tools. And the benefit of this is that you don't have to purchase additional features or components, with the exception of the add-ons for project conversion, in order to get the full functionality out of the software. For example, say you need to monitor alarms. We can do that via the alarm worksheets. You need to generate reports. We can generate reports through worksheets as well. There's VB script and built-in scripting functions. We have OPC connectivity. We are able to go to databases, to Excel files or Microsoft Access. We're also able to go to several different file types, text files, Word docs, things like that. We have animation. We have linked or pre-configured symbols. We have ActiveX and .NET. We have basic shapes and active objects. We have a trend graph. We can create classes. There are several different functions and features in here that in other pieces of software you would have to purchase and add on in order to receive that functionality. In Blue Open Studio, we have an open architecture and we're able to use what are called published APIs. And how that works out is through several different layers of abstraction. And what we mean by layers of abstraction, that term comes from a previous PC-based control software. Think of Steeplechase or Think and Do. And that utilized hardware abstraction layers that allowed the desktop applications to discover and to use the hardware of the host system through a simple and portable abstract API. Regardless of the type of underlying hardware, the software is able to communicate across this and send and receive data. The Blue Open Studio software is modular or compartmentalized, where all of the components are flexible and can be changed or modified without the rest of the application being affected. This is where the layer of abstraction comes into play. For example, in the diagram, you see that at the core of it is the Blue Open Studio, which represents the tag database. That is the core of an application, of its operation. And we have several layers of abstraction. Let's say that you were migrating from a PLC. Let's say it is an Allen Bradley Control Logics, and you want to move to Schneider Modicon Modbus TCP. With some softwares, that would require you to add a driver, then change all of your I/O addresses, or go into the symbol variable list and change what I/O addresses those symbol variables are tied to, and then remove the old driver. With Blue Open Studio, all you would simply have to do is add the new driver, remove the old one, and then simply assign your new tags on the driver worksheet with the correct I/O addresses or I/O registers from the device. There is no additional configuration required, and there is no effect on the rest of the application. In fact, you could delete the driver entirely and the application would still operate normally, with the exception of no communication to a device. There are no errors, there are no issues. For another example, let's say you go from one database to another. You're using an Oracle database and now your company is moving or migrating to Microsoft SQL. All you would have to do is change your connection string to go from Oracle to SQL, and that is it. There is no other changes necessary. None of the rest of the application is affected by that change. This is because everything is compartmentalized inside of what we are calling layers of abstraction. We have several demo applications available on our site for download. One of them is for PackML, which stands for Packaging Machine Language, and this defines a common approach or machine language for automated machines. And this is a very good application that kind of walks you through how that works, most of the processes or procedures that are used. We have an OEE, which stands for Overall Equipment Effectiveness. This is a concept utilized in lean manufacturing. Essentially what it does is it generates and tracks several metrics that tells you how well your manufacturing process or your equipment is operating. Then we have the AND-ON demo. It's a manufacturing term referring to a system to notify management, maintenance, or other workers of quality or process problems. Essentially, it's a notification system. The centerpiece of this are signboards or dashboards that are indicating the current level or current effectiveness or the current process of that machine. All three of these can be used as your base applications to start creating a much larger or to use as a reference when building your own application. And all three of these are available to download off of our support site. Blue Open Studio has been around for quite some time and came to ProFace America through an acquisition. There is 100% compatibility with applications that are designed in the previous versions. So if we look at an application that's designed in 1997 in Studio 1.0, running on, say, Windows 95, we could open that in Blue Open Studio version 8, 20 years later, running on the current Windows operating systems and have no issues opening or running the application. That is because the software has been designed and developed and updated to retain backwards compatibility throughout. This allows you to evolve or improve your application while also protecting your investment. It reduces downtime when updating or migrating your applications or your hardware when you're redesigning your systems. Blue Open Studio is multi-platform. That gives us the power of choice. And what we mean by that is, let's say that there is a spectrum, and the spectrum is just a range of devices and operating systems of what Blue Open Studio can run on. A single development station can program and deploy a single application or multiple ones that fulfill the needs of any customer. So let's say on the spectrum, in the center we have the HMI group. And these could be dedicated HMIs or industrial PCs that are running HMI software. On the left, we have the SCADA group, and this is anything from, let's think of something like Kepware or even ProFace's other product, ProServer EX. And on the other end, we have embedded or mobile systems. And this could be anything from an Android or iOS or Apple phone. It could be a web browser, or it could be a remote PC. Blue Open Studio can be used to develop applications across this entire spectrum. And when we mean multi-platform, we mean that not only with the purpose of the application, but also the operating systems that it would run on. Anything from the latest Windows servers all the way down to mobile operating systems. This means seamless development across multiple OSs. You can design a single application and deploy it across all three of these groups or across numerous operating systems without any modification required. What we mean by that is for deployment, you can develop once and deploy anywhere. A single development station can deploy one or more applications to multiple devices or platforms. So for example, this Blue Open Studio development running on your laptop could develop and deploy to a local HMI or a headless device. It could also deploy to Studio Mobile Access on a phone or mobile device. Also to secure viewers, which we are considering dedicated use stations. A single integrated development environment that allows you to develop once and deploy anywhere. We currently have two thin client solutions available. The first is Secure Viewer Thin Clients, and this requires a small standalone program to be installed on your client PC. It uses ActiveX technology. However, this is a more secure connection via the Internet Information Services, or IIS. This is not the standard ActiveX like you see inside of web browsers. And it is intended for use on local intranet or isolated networks. Then we have SMA, or Studio Mobile Access. This just simply requires a web browser, and any current browser supported, although we do recommend Internet Explorer or Chrome or Safari. It utilizes HTML5, which is used in most modern mobile and smart devices as well. With mobile access, there are some limitations to the features available. So if we look in the technical reference, TechRef, or the help manual for Blue Open Studio, and we go under Thin Clients and Mobile Access, to Mobile Access, and we simply click on the list of features supported, we get a list of the available features and whether they are supported and any caveats that may apply to those supported features. Blue Open Studio can utilize numerous communication protocols or methods to send and receive data. So let's say we have our Blue Open Studio application. Say we need to go out to a web solution, be it the cloud or a mobile device through SMA. We can use the web protocols, HTML or XML. If we need to go to client stations for additional Blue Open Studio apps to communicate to them, we can use TCP/IP or OPC servers. We can do XML or ODBC or even DDE to go to enterprise installations. We can use driver and database APIs to go to a system integration product or a customized application or a third-party app. And of course, we have over 240 drivers to go to several different field devices or PLCs to communicate to send and receive data. And finally, we have OPC communication for UA, DA, .NET, and XML. So multiple functionality, multiple features, and all of these can be used in a single application. And we have a Pandas database interface. And the interface is easy to configure to go to any SQL relational database. The interface via the standard technologies, which is ADO or OLEDB and ODBC. We can automatically send alarm or history, event, and trend data, and plus OEE dashboards directly to the database and receive them out of the database with simple configurations. And the software has built-in redundancy and store and forward features. And what we meant by Pandas database connection is the example on the screen. And the Pandas is for a method and system for communicating between an embedded device and a relational database. And this encompasses the communication of the software between that embedded device and that remote database. So for example, we have the BOS runtime that communicates over TCP/IP to a standalone application, which is called the Studio Database Gateway, which comes pre-installed when you install Blue Open Studio. It runs when the runtime opens or when you run the application if you need to communicate to a database. And the Studio Database Gateway then communicates to the SQL database or any other relational database that you have configured. So how this would work is the Blue Open Studio application would send the SQL string or SQL query to the gateway. And then the gateway would actually connect to the SQL database, run the query, retrieve the information, and send it back to the BOS runtime on the PC. Blue Open Studio also provides integration to ERP or Enterprise Resource Products. And these are systems like SAP or Microsoft Dynamics. And really what this means is that you can run queries on a database table to compile or data into a report. So we're not looking to replace ERP systems. We're looking to augment or enhance what you're doing with your ERP software. Let's say, for example, you can't get a specific report you need out of your current ERP system. Well, Blue Open Studio would be able to access your ERP system, retrieve the information it needs, and compile it and format it into the type of report that you're looking for. Feature summary for Blue Open Studio. Blue Open Studio is a SCADA and HMI software that is used for intuitive dashboards and OEE. We have FDA traceability, so we can create 21 CFR Part 11 compliant projects that utilize traceability and e-signatures. We have several different standards that we're able to use. Pick an acronym: TCP/IP, COM or DCOM, DDE, HTML5, and so on. They are all supported. We have over 250 drivers, 250 native communication drivers for PLCs, temperature controllers, motion controllers, barcode readers, you name it. Mobile access capable. We can access the industrial PC from any device with a web browser that supports HTML5. We have OPC redundancy, so we have native redundancy built in for OPC UA and OPC XML DA interfaces, meaning you're able to send data to two different sources to create a redundant system. Software market positioning. Blue Open Studio provides enhanced HMI capabilities as well as SCADA functionality. So with our current products, if the three of them would land here, Pro Server just outside of true SCADA system, WinGP and GP Pro AX landing with the HMI group. We have one product that is currently scheduled to be released at the end of this year, and that is Blue. That would be our successor to GP Pro AX. Blue Open Studio will be considered SCADA. And it's categorized as SCADA Lite simply because of the current tag counts available. However, in future releases, we see increased tag counts becoming available that would enhance the Blue Open Studio capabilities. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact ProFace America Technical Support by phone at 1-800-289-9266, option 2, or by email, support@profaceamerica.com. You can also visit our website, profaceamerica.com, for manuals, drivers, product FAQs, and other product and software information. Thanks again, and have a great day.